viewers from all around the world and the country, of course. Today it is a beautiful, crisp afternoon here at Wilson Field in the beautiful city of Orange, California, here at Chapman University as we take a look at the Chapman Panthers taking on the University of Redlands Bulldogs. I am Justin Lee, here with my partner Javier Serrano. Josh Feinhurst will join us in a few moments. We got a lot to break down for you folks here today on this doubleheader special here from CSBN. The women's game right now and the men's game later here today, so stay tuned for all of the action here today. But let's talk about this game in particular, where we have the two rivals, and we always put it in a sentence whenever you put Redlands and Chapman in the same exact sentence. They're always considered rivals. The biggest thing that we got to take a look at is some of the division stands before we can even talk about that. So let's send it over and take a look at some of those. As you can see in the SCIAC Conference, the Panthers are in very good shape right now with a 7-3 ratio win-loss at the very moment. The Redlands, who come in here, have not been on a very good streak of winning games in the conference. They're 1-6 with a 3-8 overall record. The very top is Pomona with that undefeated conference record, but with only one loss in the season. But they are looking very good in their reigning season as the SCIAC Conference champs. So a lot of things to break down. Anything you want to discuss here, my friend Javier?
Well, first of all, let's look at the Redlands. They are 0-5 on the road, so they're looking to get a win in that win column on the road. As for Chapman, you're looking to make a playoff push. You need to get a win today against your rivals, the Redlands, so expect Chapman to come out big. Expect the Redlands to try to get a win on the win column and not be one of the worst teams in the conference. I expect a good game. Well, what about you, Justin?
The Panthers are in very good shape. They had their game this week on Wednesday against Whittier. Very close. They came out on top with a 10-9 win. The Bulldogs have not scored a whole lot of points in their previous two games, scoring less than 5 goals per game with that loss against Claremont MS with a 4-21 score. They have got absolutely blown out. But whenever we look at these two teams, it's always close between these two opponents, as we see every single year in and out. But for this game, a little bit more interesting. It's always very close between these two teams, but let's break it down a little bit, and we're going to talk about some of these key players for this game, starting off with the University of Redlands Bulldogs. Now, I like to talk about this with 3 different pillars. The first being offense, of course, the Emily Webster, number 12, the attack for the Redlands, with 41 points on the season, 54 shots on goal, and 3 assists. Had 1 goal in that game against Claremont NMS. She's a particularly very good freshman. Talk about a true freshman, of course. It's her first year as a member of the Bulldogs. She's been playing very good. The other part of this team is going to come down to who's going to be able to get that draw control, and we're going to look at Emma Beaver, number 7, their midi, who has 12 points, which is a very low percentage on this team, but she's very good with that skill on the draw control, with 44 of them 1 and 2 assists. She's very important if you want to get this game in a very good start, and that is one of those key things we're going to have to take a look at when the game starts here in a few moments. And for the defensive side, Nicole Hutton has not had the best of numbers on the season as their goalkeeper, with a 28.1 save percentage and only 39 saves. She allows 16.6 goals on average per game, but it's going to come down to how does this defense surround her, how they're going to support her and keep her rested and well shaped out, because these Panthers, they love to spread the ball around and they will attack you from all sides. Now, we talked about some of those Redland key players. Let's talk about some of the Chapman ones as I send it over to you so you can discuss who are the key players for the Chapman Panthers.
Oh, yeah, so definitely, Justin. The first key player of the game is Melanie Ferreira, number 24 for the Chapman Panthers. She is an attacker. She has 31 goals, 33 shots on goal, and 9 assists. She is one of the most dangerous weapons on offense for Chapman. I expect her to have a good game, especially against the goalkeeper for the Redlands. She's been stepping up huge recently with these big goals, and she's been playmaking as well, too. The second key player that I have is Jessica Ricketts, number 34, a midi. She has 31 points, 54 draw control, and 7 assists. She's been one of the leading scorers for this Chapman offense too. So pair her up with Ferreira, and Redlands defense is going to have a hard time stopping those two competitors. And the last key player that I have is Anna Pereru, number 8. She is the goalkeeper for this team. She has 35.2% save percentage, 50 saves, and she allows 10.36 goals average per game. So expect her to come in big with these saves. Expect her to help the Chapman defense out.
Absolutely, and if you talk about some of those players on that team, Panthers have a lot more experience on that side with more seniors as opposed to the Redlands, who have a ton of young talent on this team. And the Panthers love to spread it around each other. Anna Hooray actually holds the single season record for the Panthers with the most saves per game. So she's going to be really important for this team to be able to control that attack coming from Emily Webster with 41 points. So you have to keep an eye on her. But for the Panthers, it's about spreading the ball around to each of their star players and being able to attack the goalie from all sides, which is the biggest thing. But right now, we want to break this down, but no better way to do it is to have our silent reporter, Josh Feiners, break it down. We're going to send it over to him, who's on the field looking at all the action. Josh, what you got down there, my friend?
Here from the field for both sides. Coin toss here just happened here at Chapman Lacrosse versus Redlands here in beautiful sunny Orange, California. My name is Joshua Feinhersh, and I will be your sideline reporter for today's game, Chapman versus Redlands, in a huge conference game here. Both teams needing this win. Redlands not off to the best start. Chapman off to a much better start. We'll see who comes out on top here. I'll send it back to Justin and Javier at the desk.
We appreciate it, Josh, and we're going to be sending it to you out there pretty often this entire game, trying to get as much action and details from the field as much as possible. But as we get ready for this game here today, this afternoon, we're going to take a look at probably some of the starting lineups for the Redlands and the Panthers as we take a look for those. Well, the Panthers, if we do have the starting lineups for the Redland Bulldogs, but let's talk about some of the stats for a little bit. The Bulldogs may not be biggest in numbers, but between these two teams, they're always close. Their record for the matchups they have every single year is always extremely close between these two teams. The last meeting a year ago, the Panthers took over the Bulldogs in a pretty small margin, so we're expecting it to be always pretty close between these two teams, but the Bulldogs haven't had the experience on that side as much as they wanted to. But their coach, Suzette, is very experienced with 25 seasons under her belt, and she's been the biggest difference maker.
And as you can see right there, we have number 12, Emily Webster. She's been one of the best players on this team, 41 points. So we have to see whether the Chapman defense can slow her down today, because she's been absolutely phenomenal on offense this season.
Absolutely, but let's talk about this game in general, because this is our first broadcast of women's lacrosse that we've had this season. We've mostly done men's lacrosse, but for those of you viewers out there who we love to teach the game of lacrosse to everyone who's watching, and for us, it's an opportunity to be able to share this game to everybody who's watching. So the men's and women's lacrosse, very different rules. The women's lacrosse field is actually a bigger dimensions for than the men's. The goal is backed up a little bit more. There's a different rule set for these, and if you see out there today, there are 12-meter marks and the 8-meter marks. Those have very different details that we'll be discussing throughout the game. The sticks are a little bit different. The netting inside the lacrosse sticks are a little bit different, so if we have a chance later on today, we might demonstrate that for you guys. The netting is a lot different. The positions are about the same. But for this, the important thing about women's lacrosse is that it's about safety for these women players versus the men's. You see that the women's have a lot less gear than the men's players do. The men's have helmets, they have shoulder pads, you can body check them in men's lacrosse, but women's lacrosse you can only stick check. And because of that, the game is a little bit less paced than the men's game, less violent, so to speak, but it's always violent when it comes to any athletics at all, as we saw in the NCAA tournament for women's basketball. But talking about lacrosse, there's a lot of different rules you have to keep an eye out for when you're watching this game as you go through. Less protection, so more rules are enforced. There are fouls, there are free shots. Those are about the same. The ball is actually different for men's and women's. The women's have a yellow colored ball, while the men's have a white colored ball. There is no difference in material, dimension, or size of the ball. They're actually the same. It's just used to differentiate between the two. For women's lacrosse, as opposed to men's, the netting is a lot more shallow, because for men's, the deeper pocket means you have better control of the ball inside your net, so you can have more checks on the body, more checks on the stick, anything way you can knock that ball out. For the women's, it's much more shallow, so we have the ball get knocked out more easily from the netting, so you have a chance for everybody. Now, the women's game has a possession clock, which is 90 seconds. No matter what, whoever has possession of the ball, that possession clock will keep running down no matter what. Even if you throw the ball out of bounds anywhere beyond, the clock will run down until they run out, and then the other team is granted possession, whereas the men's has a shot clock.
And we're going to toss it out to the field for the starting intros.
Field of 5'5", first year, number 20, Natalie Schumann. And attackers of 5'7", first year, number 22, Jacqueline Laducci. And attackers of 5'4", first year, number 23, Mallory Morrissey. And on defense of 5'8", sophomore, number 27, Vivian Rokum. The captains for the Bulldogs in the midfields of 5'7", senior number 7, Emma Bieber. On defense of 5'9", senior number 10, Nina Davis. And on defense of 5'4", junior number 25, Joey Charrow. The head coach of Redlands is Suzette Savoni, assisted by Sean Hansen and Lacey Borndal. And now the starters for your Panthers. And attackers of 5'6", junior number 2, Anna Close. Another attacker of 5'3", junior number 3, Josie Morrissey. In the goals of 5'3", junior number 8, Anna Hiru. In the midfield of 5'6", sophomore number 9, Megan Guerra. On defense of 5'7", sophomore number 14, Chloe Castanon. On defense of 5'9", freshman number 15, Liv Huntley Robertson. On defense of 5'4", senior number 16, Sophia Lasitra. In the midfield of 5'7", sophomore number 20, Annika Carlson. And in the midfield of 5'9", senior number 34, Jessica Ricketts. The captains for the Panthers in the midfields of 5'4", senior number 1, Elise Mayer. On defense of 5'4", junior number 12, Sophie Pelton. And an attacker, a 5'4", senior, number 24, Melanie Ferreira. The Panthers are coached by Dan Kirkpatrick and assisted by Nicholas Patel. Now, fans, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
Absolutely beautiful anthem. Well, as we get set and ready here for this game, pretty good weather out here that we're having compared to what we've had the last few months with a lot of rain, pretty clear skies, and it's a great atmosphere for this game. It's a little bit warmer than it has been, so finally great to get out of that winter weather. What do you think, Javier?
Well, like you said, it's a great day to watch a game of women's lacrosse, and I know both of these teams are ready.
Well, here we go as we get ready for the draw control. Main difference between this and men's lacrosse is that the men's have the face-off, the women's have the draw control. And as you can see, the Panthers win possession of the ball, and they're ready to get set. And here we go on this beautiful afternoon here at Chapman University. First off into the X. There goes Josie Morrissey. Panthers are setting up as they're making their attack clear. Loses control of the ball.
And as you can see, the Chapman offense is trying to spread out, trying to find good positioning to get a goal. As they're back in the X.
One of those things you'll see out here for the most part on this game is the Redlands defenders were both sides. They enter that. As the ball goes out of bounds, whoever is closest to that ball gains possession. It doesn't matter who had possession last. Anyone who is closer to the ball as it goes out of bounds gets possession of it. But as I was saying before, the markers you'll see here as the Panthers are making another drive, and there's a violation from the inside. Looks like a charge violation, and we're going to get to see one of the first few position free shots for the Panthers. Number 34, Jessica Ricketts, one of our key players, is taking it from the 8-meter mark. Shoots it, and it's blocked. Great defense by Nicole Hutton as she regains control of the ball over to her teammates. That one looks like rolling out of bounds, but and because she was so close to it and turning it over, Chapman Panthers regain possession of it as the position clock resets here. So different rules here in women's lacrosse. They have the 12-meter arc and the 8-meter mark, different areas of fouls. Women's lacrosse, you cannot be in that 8 arc for more than 3 seconds or you will be called for a violation.
Yeah, right now the Redlands are playing solid defense, making it difficult for the Chapman offense to get going. And as you can see, Carlson with the ball.
And there's the first shot and a goal for the Panthers as they make first blood here this afternoon. Great stuff, right? The Panthers.
First goal of the game with less than 2 minutes.
That was Annika Carlson,
She's
the sophomore out of Tiburon, California. First goal of the day. We don't hear that name very often for the Panthers, but able to make that shot for the first draw of the day. Great stuff. Anything interesting you saw there, Javier?
Well, scoring this first goal 2 minutes into the game, I think that's a good sign of this offense and the capability that it has. Very patient, good find, good read, and they have 1 point on the board right now. So, Justin, I think they're off to a good start.
Absolutely. The Panthers held possession for about 2 minutes straight. They had it the entire time. It seemed like the Redlands had a chance to get that possession, but lost control of it and just gave it away to the Panthers, and that's something you definitely don't want to do if you're University of Redlands Bulldogs, if you're trying to stay up. The Panthers get possession once again to start off after the draw control, and they're already attacking towards the inside. Back to the X. Anna Close, the junior out of West Lynn, Oregon. Oh, I just saw a shove on the top side, and a foul has been called. Looks like on the Redlands. We may see another possession free shot here for the Panthers. That was number 9, Megan Guerrera. Taking it from the 12. No free shot.
There you go with Ferreira driving it. She passes it out.
One of those key attackers for the Panthers. Cutting towards the crease. Opportunity, missed it. Goes to the backside.
Good shot though. Missed opportunity, but they regain possession of the ball.
Another quick action, but looked like it was a goal, but they called a foul on the Panthers. And looks like Redlands will regain control of the ball.
Would have been a goal by Ferreira, but foul called.
The Chapman goal scorer number 24, Melanie Ferreira. The assist from Sophia Biss.
As we get resetting the play here for both sides and play a stop for now. Things are going to get set up once again. Well, let's talk about the attack a little bit. The Panthers have been controlling the ball in this side of the field for a long time. Already trying to get Nicole Hutton tired in that back net.
Right, and then as you can see with why the draw control is very important. It helps you get possession of the ball, and the more draw controls you win, the likelier your chances of are winning, because you have the ball, because you can create these plays on offense. And right now we can see that Chapman has been dominating the possession time right now. So let's see if the Redlands could get possession.
And the Panthers regain it again as they take possession going down the field. Panthers have already won 3 of the draw controls here. There's a Redlands player down on the field. The Panthers are already at the 8-meter arc, driving.
Ooh, missed shot by Anna, close.
Looked like her stick got intercepted by one of the Redlands defenders. That's the kind of defense you're going to be looking for if you want to be able to beat this tough Chapman team today.
Yeah, but Justin, those are the shots that you would want to take if you're Chapman. Those are makeable shots right there.
100%. That's the kind of attack that the Panthers have always imposed on this team. They really want to get after that SCIAC Conference Championship, losing in the SCIAC tournament in the semifinals to Claremont MS last year.
You just see right now, the Panthers are out hustling, and they're playing harder than the Redlands right now. Redlands haven't been able to have possession of the ball yet. I don't think so.
Great stuff from Hutton as she blocked that ball just off of her stick, and Panthers once again with the control of the ball. They have been controlling it this entire first quarter.
There you see Parker House with the ball. Now they're spreading out. She drives. Ooh.
Off the ground. Hutton picks it up. Now the Redlands have their first opportunity of the day to try to get it to the other side of the field, and here they come.
You know, and speaking of offense, Justin, the past 2 games have been a struggle for the Redlands. You know, only four goals in each of the last 2 games. So right now, offense has been a big struggle for the Redlands. We can see, let's see if they improved on it. But right now, Chapman has the ball, so they didn't do much with that possession.
The Chapman Panthers playing very tough, gritty, and now the Redlands have the ball. Ground control is a little different right now. And more another ground ball. The Redlands pick it up as they make their first drive down the other side. For the Panthers, Anna Hooray looking to make some protection with that red curtain steel gate on the net. And the Redlands are now starting to spread it around.
Yeah, right now they're slowing the pace, you know, spreading the field, trying to get good looks.
Emily Webster's down there, one of those captains for the Redlands. Very important player, and looks like the Panthers intercepted the ball, and now they have possession. Will look to drive it down the field once again. The Panthers have a lot more experience on their side. They have 4 seniors and only 11 freshmen compared to University of Redlands, who have more freshmen on their team than anyone else, with 10 of them and only 2 seniors. So the Panthers have a lot more experience on their side of the roster and a lot more players. Redlands only have 16, and the Panthers have a total of 27 players on their roster. So they have enough players on that bench to be well rested and keep the energy going for the duration of the entire game. Redlands have control of the ball. Now they're taking up the possession clock as we speak.
Number 3, Jenna Bradford with the ball. Good passes being made, but Chapman defense is holding up pretty well.
As you see, for the defense, most teams will have their defenders on the inside part of that 12-meter arc. and try to play either man or zone coverage. Look like they're playing man coverage at the very moment as the Redlands are driving down. That's number 9, Kaylin Walker, looking for anybody to be open. And
just look at the defense. That's incredible defense right there. Just blocking the front, making it difficult to find an entry throw for the attackers on the Redlands. And now they're pushing the pace.
An ill-advised throw from Kaylin Walker costed her the possession for the Redlands as she was trying to pass it to Emily Webster. And the Panthers are already inside the 8-meter arc, going through the X and making a circle over to close. Now the Panthers are going to hold on to this for as long as I can, trying to tire out this Redlands defense. Coach Suzette very active on the sideline, trying to get her team to rally around and try to get some shots on goal this game. Annika Carlson has got possession of the ball as the Panthers make their substitutions back in the X. And Anna close.
See number 14 for Chapman coming in, Chloe.
And there's a score from Anna Close, her first of the game for the Panthers. Gets it by the goalie for the University of Redlands. That's the first one, and now 2 points on the board. The Panthers are up by 2 scores.
And Anna Close with the goal. Great goal. She had 11 goals this season, make it 12 now with that one. Great offense, great goal. Now you're up 2-0. But you have to keep the pressure on if you're Chapman.
Anna Close is one of those important players for this team. And she had 1 goal in that game against Whittier. You see her making the drive inside the 8-meter mark and shooting it from the very far left bottom corner of the goal.
Yep, and she's a junior, so expect her to come back for her senior season, being one of the top players, especially with Jessica Ricketts, this being her final season as a senior. But as you can see, Chapman does have some great young players stepping up.
They do have a ton of those. Redlands also do, especially with one of those key players being Emily Webster with 41 points. She's just a freshman, her first year, and she's already playing like one of the better ones in this division.
That's really impressive, Justin. To be a freshman coming in with 41 goals.
If you ever have a young player like that, you just know that the ceiling is very high for a lot of those young players who just know how to produce every single time. She's going to be one of the key stars for this team as they go through their season and the seasons to come. The Redlands obviously not in a very good position for their conference, but I'm sure they can make a good push with the final 5 games of the season coming through. Redlands making their first push as they looking for a seam, anybody to get in. Emma Beaver had the ball. Looks like we're getting a foul call on the inside of the 12-meter mark on the University of Redlands. No, on the Panthers as we get the first free shot for the Redlands.
Let's see if the Redlands can capitalize on this one.
Everyone getting set way up before the line at the 8-meter mark. Here comes the shot. Bounces off the ground.
Look at the hustle. They're fighting. Chapman with the ball.
In favor of Horeu. That ball just took a really bad bounce on the ground and just had no chance to get inside the goal. And as the Panthers regain control of the possession, now they're driving down the field. But starting to seem a little bit more balanced in terms of possessions for both these teams now.
Yeah, the Redlands are definitely picking it up on offense. And the shots are not falling, but as long as you have possession of the ball and you're taking it away from Chapman, then that's a good sign. Ooh!
What a long shot. That's number 20, Annika Carlson, with their first goal of the day from the 8-meter mark between the 12-meter arc. Great sniper shot from her.
That shot was pretty nice, I'm not going to lie.
We like to call that the sniper here.
That was a sniper of a shot right there.
The Panthers already up 3-0.
And Carlson, this is her second goal already. So she's stepping up big. And look at that shot. So nice, so fast. Hard to stop that one.
Just had the goalie, Nicole Hutton, staring at that one. That one went
Carlson,
by her fast.
The sniper.
My mistake. 2 goals on the day for Annika Carlson. She's starting to step up for this Panthers team. She had 2 goals in that game on Wednesday against Whittier, so she's been a very big impact for the Panthers in that game. That game very close. Whittier always an aggressive team, as per se from some of their players previously interviewed.
Look at the hustle.
Great pass by Elise Meyer.
Ooh, cut.
That one goes wide.
That was close.
Goes wide of the mark. The Panthers regain control inside the X, and now resetting the play back over to Meyer.
Once again, these are good shots.
You definitely don't want these kinds of shots coming to you as a goalie if you're Hutton in that net. And you've seen that multiple times already today. It's been very tough to be able to control these Panthers in that back end. Redlands finally have another opportunity to drive this ball down to the other side as they're walking through. Intercepted, swatted away, and it's picked up by the Panthers by Milani Ferreira, one of those key players that we talked about before. You mentioned it, Javier. She's going to be big for this Panthers team if they want to keep this attack going.
But look at this, the pace is so fast. The Redlands cannot get back on defense, and that's, if you're Chapman, you'll keep pushing the pace if the Redlands are not going to get on defense. Take those good quality shots.
Absolutely. They had a really good attack going on that last goal shot attempt, but Anna Close just missed the mark by a wide margin as she was wide open in that zone to be able to make a clear shot for the goal. Panthers regain the possession here. A spin move.
Parker House.
Now back over to the X. Morrissey driving inside the 8-meter. As we said before, you cannot stand in that 8-meter mark for more than 3 seconds with possession of the ball. And if you know basketball very well, you know this to be very close, similar rules to basketball in the sense of being inside the paint for no more than a certain amount of time. The Panthers still have possession of the ball. They got 17 seconds on the possession clock to try to put a shot through. Any violation on the clock will be a turnover for the Panthers, and they have to give it to the Redlands. Lost control of the ball. Looks like this one is going to go to the Redlands' favor as the clock is running out.
And there's a violation.
And it'll go for the Redlands as they now try to make their push on the other side. Emma Beaver, one of those other key players that we've talked about today. Such a pivotal player for that team. Her favorite athlete is Steph Curry, one of the greatest athletes for Golden State Warriors of all time, if not one of the greatest three-point shooters, if I'm not mistaken, Javier.
I can definitely confirm that, Justin.
Back in the X goes the Redlands as they spread the ball around. The Panthers are now playing zone man coverage, but they're remaining inside that 8-meter mark. Looking for the first opportunity for the shot on goal. They need a goal to be able to keep it competitive between the Panthers.
And you can see Chapman's defense has been stepping up, making it hard for the Redlands to find opportunities. And on offense, Chapman is arguably playing even better right now, 4 goals.
Well, they just, like you said, they've had more hustle, and they look like they've just had more energy, more rest. And they're really running it down the field against these Redland Bulldogs, showing off the energy. Oh, wow, what a shot by number 3, Josie Morrissey, as she put the fake on the goalie Hutton as she makes it in for the score. That puts Panthers up in an even bigger margin. Great stuff as she made it close to the crease. As you see the moves on the sidelines, the Panthers are all pumped up. Look at this shot coming very close to the crease in the face of Hutton and making it, sinking it in the back of the net. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Redlands are having a hard time stopping this offense. You know, and you have the key players that we mentioned, you know, it's not even them that are scoring right now. It's the other players that are stepping up. So when you have this much talent on a team, it's hard to beat them. And as you can see, Chapman is looking for a playoff push. And you have these players stepping up, which is tremendous for them.
Yeah, this Panthers team has a lot of very good players on both sides. Finally, the first draw control won by the Redlands as they run it down. That was number 7, Emma Beaver, running it down as the Redlands looking for their first opportunity. A spin move, setting up the play as we go here. But the Panthers love to evenly spread it around their players. No player has more goals than one another. They're very close in points totaled for each individual attacker. Sophia Lakitra was one of those players who earned a SCIAC award for defensive player. They have a lot of talent, like you said, and Sophie is one of those talented seniors on this Panthers team, holding it together. And the Panthers
intercepted.
Yes, intercepted by the Panthers, and now they're going to take it down the field again.
We have 40 seconds left in this fourth quarter, so this could be the last possession of the game, of the first quarter, actually.
And come down to this, can the Panthers capitalize on another opportunity to make a shot on goal? And they're going to let the clock run down, 17 seconds left. Looking for somebody. This looks like the attempt here, and makes it through. There's the shot, capitalizing on that play.
Jessica Ricketts.
And finally, we have our first key player mentioned. The name Jessica Ricketts, one of the star players for the Panthers, making her first goal of the day. See the celebration from the Panthers. And this Redlands team just looks beat up. It's been a tough day for everybody on that backside, especially for Hutton.
Jessica Ricketts is just a fantastic player. One of the leading scorers on this team, so she's going to do that. You're going to hear her name brought up quite often.
Absolutely. She had 3 goals in that win against the University of Whittier University. So she's always been that very big impact player for this team and a leader as well. One of the captains for the Panthers. That draw control goes out of nowhere, and
3
Panthers,
seconds.
3 seconds, intercepted by Hutton. And that will end the first quarter for the Panthers, who are up 6-0 against the University of Redlands Bulldogs. What have we seen in the first quarter that stands out to you so far?
Well, right now the offense has been phenomenal, 6 goals, and the defense has been even better, just allowing nothing from the Redlands side.
Well, we're actually going to send it over to Josh Feinhurst, who's got an injury update on a player that's down on the field. Josh, what you got for us down there, my friend?
All right, everybody, it is the end of quarter 1 here. Chapman off to a blistering 6-0 lead here. But some news on the injury front. Chapman's starting attacker, number 30, Sophia Bittis, seemed to go down with a lower leg injury as the quarter was winding down. She's getting treatment right now. I will have more for you once I can get some more information on her injury to see if she will be able to return to this game. Back to you, Justin and Javier at the desk.
Thank you, Josh, for that update. We'll keep an eye on that, and you'll let us know once we send it back to you later in the game. But the Panthers have a lot of depth on that roster, so not saying that they're irreplaceable, but the Panthers team have been doing very good so far, so give her a lot of rest, and she'll be back on the field ready to go. But let's talk about a little bit. For Hutton, it's been very tough, and one of those keys was that this defense needs to be able to step up, and they haven't really looked like they've stepped up to the challenge against the Panthers. The Panthers spreading it around and hustling down you on the field, and Redlands playing a very tight zone coverage. Do you think maybe a strategy change needs to be coming here for the Redlands if they want to be able to attack this Panthers team?
Well, as you saw from Chapman, the passing has been absolutely phenomenal. For the Redlands, you can see their offense is stalling. They're not playing with as much pace. They're not utilizing all of their players the way that they should. And like I've said earlier, I mean, the offense has been a struggle this entire season for the Redlands. The last game, they only scored 4 points. This game, 0 points, and the first quarter has already happened. So we need to see the Redlands step up offensively if they want to have a chance at beating the Chapman Panthers.
It's definitely a conversation to behold. If you're talking about possession time, the Redlands have not had a whole lot of time with possession. They need to be able to control that ball, and they just haven't had really good control of the ball so far. The Panthers, on the other side, doing very good. For the first 2 to 3 minutes of the first quarter, they just held the ball the entire time, and the Redlands have missed a lot of opportunities to be able to take that ball away and drive it down to the other side and give it to their best players. And that's one of the biggest things for this Redlands team is they have to be able to control that possession of time against this Panthers team who love to control it. But we'll see. The second quarter is just about to start here in a few moments, and we'll see if there's a strategy change coming from Coach Zet or if Coach Dan Kirkpatrick of the Panthers will contain the Redlands offense. Another draw control coming here for the second quarter. The Panthers are up 6-0 against the University of Redlands Bulldogs. As you can see, the draw control, the ref holding the 2 sticks up in the air as opposed to the men's game who hold the sticks on the very ground and just fight for the ball with 2 other defenders running at them. The opposite is said for the draw control as the ball goes up in the air and all teams will have to try to catch it, and it's a all hell breaks loose type of situation. The Panthers get control of the ball early on in the second quarter as we get ready to go. Teams flip sides per quarter, so the Panthers will be on offense on the right side of your screen, and the Redlands Bulldogs will be on your left side of the screen for offense. Another drive here, and that one bounces off the mark. Looks like the play is going to get called dead.
Yeah, and another big thing that I noticed this game is that Chapman is moving not only the ball, but the players are moving around the field. And the Redlands offense has been stalling. It's been slow. And as you can see, Chapman's offense has been killing it right now with 6 goals in the first quarter.
Annika Carlson with the free shot attempt. And bounces off the wide mark of the goal. Oh my goodness. That
Great
looked very
save.
close. She would have had her 3rd goal on the day, just missed the mark on the right side of the goal as the Redlands now have possession of the ball. It's very important to get this down. And as you notice, some of the Redlands players are wearing a different type of gear. It is legal to wear that type of visor with the headgear if you want to protect yourself, but any other type of nice extra gear that you have is illegal in women's lacrosse. Men's lacrosse, it is 100% legal to have helmets and shoulder pads, but since the rules are a lot different, women's have less gear. The object of the game is to have more safety in the women's game than the men's game, but either way, it's still pretty violent. Redlands have possession here, looking for the missed opportunity, gets behind the legs, nutmegged.
Jenna Bradford with the recovery. Good hustle by her.
Trying to look for some kind of opening or window of chance opportunity for the Redlands Bulldogs to at least get the first score of the day for them. Had a tough going of it, and there's a story to behold with as the Panthers take control. That ball was swatted away by number 9, Kayla Walker, who's kicked it out of number 9 for the Panthers, Megan Guerra, and that ball is now in favor of the Redlands. Another lost control for the Redlands. That's just been the story all day. It's been issues on control.
Absolutely, and this is the struggle with the offense. They're not capitalizing on any opportunities. They're really struggling. But credit to Chapman's defense for hustling, for blocking the entry passes, making it difficult for this Redlands offense to get going.
Putting the pressure on the University of Redlands, the Panthers have a lot of speed on that outside part of the defense. Some of those bigger players, and really giving it to the favor of the Panthers goalie, Anna Herreu. She's been pretty silent back there, but she's blocked the goal when she needs to. And another shot.
Jessica Ricketts.
The Panthers score once again. Jessica Ricketts, her name called once again. Her 2nd goal of the day on a very clean shot on the Redlands.
And you could just see the Chapman bench taunting right now, celebrating. If you're the Redlands, you're not going to like this. This is horrible.
Looking at the celebration, some pull-ups being down there.
Chapman goals.
It's been a tough day for the Redlands already, and we're not even into the third quarter.
7 goals. Can you believe that, Justin?
I can't. It's been a weird kind of story so far. You expect the Redlands to have a goal by the moment of this second quarter, but the Panthers have just done a lot better with time of possession.
Yeah, the Redlands have the same amount of goals as you and I. 0. They need to do better.
I like that analogy up here in the booth. Another draw control coming here as we get going. The Panthers up by a very wide margin with the lucky number 7 on the scoreboard.
Jessica Ricketts stepping up as expected. She was a key player.
A draw control violation as the Redlands will be called for, or it will be given possession to them. The clock's starting to run down, but look at this energy as you see the Panthers like really putting it up to the face of the
Look
Redlands
at Jessica.
players.
Oh, look at the deflection.
But that's just been the story, being able to intercept those balls, and the Panthers already driving down, outrunning all the Redlands Bulldogs, looking for possession, picked up by number 28, Bailey Harpster. My apologies, number 38, Parker House. Ooh, what a spin move. In the A mark,
Oh my
under
God.
the legs, goal for the Panthers.
This is insane.
Some great stuff from the Panthers yet again as she makes the mark under the net, under the legs of the Redlands goalie.
Look at the celebration.
It's been tough so today. The Panthers can have an easy celebration down on the field. Anna Close, yet another goal for her today, making the fake out spin and throwing it under. She's been one of those big support players, making a name for herself for the Panthers today.
Ah, come on, really?
A lot of celebration going on the sidelines for the Panthers. It's been an interesting day.
Panthers are having fun. I would be having fun too if I was up this big.
Kind of energy you want to see if you are trying to make a playoff push. The Panthers obviously in a great position to make their name known for the SCIAC tournament. A year ago, they did not have the best of chances, losing in the semifinals to Claremont MS. Claremont MS actually lost to Pomona Pitzer, who is actually number 20 in the country ranked in all Division III. They're the big team to beat in the SCIAC conference. Panthers regain control of the ball once again, and they're driving down the field. Controlling the possession of time. Been that story the entire time. If you're just joining us, Elise Meyer going into the 8-meter, gets between the legs again, and there's another goal for Elise Meyer, her first
Show
one
the
on the
celebration.
day.
There you go.
And another celebration from the sideline on the Panthers side.
What kind of celebration that is? That's the celebration.
The Washuta twins are down there on the field having a great time on the sidelines. As you see the replay, Elise Meyer, the senior out of Los Gatos, putting it in, making a name for herself as well. It's been all about these support players for the Panthers today. It's going to be a tough meeting at halftime for the Redlands Bulldogs, as we're only just in the early going still of this game.
Yeah, and the last time these two teams faced was February 22nd. Chapman won 19-5. And right now, it looks like it might be even worse based on what's happening right now. Redlands have not been able to score. But they do get possession of the ball. Let's see if they do something.
Here we go, driving down the field for the Redlands. They need to be able to control this time of possession. It's been tough all day. Looking for some kind of chance for anything, but the Panthers are playing man coverage. Yet again, they've really controlled that inside part of the 8-meter mark.
And it seems like every time someone gets the ball, man-to-man defense has been incredible. They've been stepping up.
It's been about that pressure for the Panthers.
And look at that. See, defense right there. But I think it's a foul.
Looks like looks like the illegal checking of the stick and a foul called on the Panthers.
This is your chance. You're the Redlands.
And an opportunity for the Redlands, and it looks like they're going to get a free shot going here. It's number 12, Emily Webster's walking off the field. Not sure what is going on at the very moment. Entering the field is 23, Mallory Morrissey.
Michael Jordan number.
Looks like she'll be taking the free shot for the Bulldogs. Interesting transition that just happened there. The second opportunity for the Bulldogs to make a free shot. Horeyu in the back goal. Stoppage once again. And a timeout called by the Redlands.
Desperately needed timeout.
Well, let's talk about it. This is an opportunity for them to put the goals on the board. They got a free shot. What do you think will be the approach against a very star-studded goalie like Horeyu?
Well, at this point, you know, you need something to get going. I feel like one goal for Redlands, maybe that can, you know, jumpstart the offense for the rest of the game. You know, at this point, the Redlands, they just need something, because this game is 9-0, so it's already out of control.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the replays of what we've seen so far. This one from Elise Meyer from earlier in the second quarter. That one just bounced in the front of the face. It's been the story so far, being able to keep the goalie of the Redlands, Hutton, guessing the entire day. She's been having a tough time back there. So the Redlands do need this goal to be able to make it competitive at least. But it's going to be tough for them to make a comeback. We haven't seen a very tough comeback in a very long time if you're a fan of lacrosse. The greatest comeback of all time, of course, being Super Bowl 51.
Yeah, Super Bowl 51. And what happens Super Bowl 51, Justin?
Well, the Atlanta Falcons were up by a very high margin, and I had turned off the TV by that very moment. And then the New England Patriots, one of the greatest franchises of all time, but I won't say, made a very insane comeback coming from behind.
28-3.
28-3.
28-3.
28-3. The biggest number you'll ever see on anybody's shirt if you ask anybody who watched that game.
So you think the Redlands can pull off a Tom Brady comeback?
It'll be tough. Very tough, especially for the Redlands. They need these young freshmen to step up, but they just haven't seemed like they had the energy to be able to pull it out so far. But, you know, anything can happen, and we've seen it before, you and I.
Yeah, right now the Redlands are, once again, 0-5 on the road.
As we get ready, the free shot for the Redlands. Sitting back there, number 12 is Emily Webster back in. Horeyu's ready. And, ooh, a little stutter and a goal. The first one of the day for the Redlands from your star captain, Emily Webster. Puts it in for the first score for the Redlands.
Emily Webster, we were talking about her earlier. You know, she's a great player. If the Redlands want to come back, they're going to need her to step up. And so far, one goal. Maybe this might turn things around. Who knows?
She is their version of Caitlin Clark. 41 points on the season. She just added another one to her total. The first one of the day for the Redlands. And that's the kind of energy you're going to need. That's how you rally a team if you need it. And Coach Suzette especially probably appreciates that goal from her team captain.
Yeah, and that was a good timeout. You come out the timeout with a point. Desperately needed.
Looks like we have a stoppage on time before the draw control starts again. See what the discussion between the refs is at the very moment. It looks like they're discussing the time on the board. Looks like we're ready to go here. But great start. The first one of the day for the University of Redlands. They haven't had a whole lot of ample opportunities, but on that free shot, Webster finally puts it in for the first one. Another Draw control coming here for the Panthers, and the Bulldogs fighting for it, still at the middle of the field. There's a scrum happening at the CUC at the 50-yard line.
Ooh, smart move.
Elise Meyer falls down. Redlands picks it up. Now it's picked up by the Panthers, and it's in their favor as the ref calls it. No, it's given over to the Redlands. Looks like a violation on the possession. The Redlands get the ball, and now they have another opportunity to start running up the score to set up maybe some magic for the comeback.
Magic comeback.
Are we calling it?
I'm not. Are you calling it? I'm not calling it.
We'll see. Depends on what kind of action happens here. Well, the ball was out of control for a moment. The Panthers now have it, and now they'll start pushing down the field. Another scrum at the middle of the field, and it's picked up by the Panthers, and now they're in great position to try to drive it down. There's not a whole lot of defenders for the Redlands in the middle of the field.
They're pushing it.
Number 20, Annika Carlson, has already had multiple goals on the day, looking for her first hat trick in this game. And stepped out of bounds. No. Yes, did step out of bounds for the Panthers as they regain possession again, and will reset play. Panthers have possession of the ball inside of the X. 9-1, 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. And a great shot put through by the Panthers. Number 20, Annika Carlson, her name called once again. My apologies. Number 21, Charlie Beck, for her first goal.
Charlie Beck, freshman, a midi.
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado.
But we've said it before, it's all about these support players for the Panthers so far today. They've really come out and shown out for their side. And now they're in the double-digit region.
Like what our sideline reporter said, Joshua, Sophia is injured. She's not playing this game, so you need your other players to step up. And right now, with players like Charlie Beck and Parker House and all these other players, they're doing a great job.
As another draw control comes here, the Panthers take the ball again, and now they're driving down the field once more. Nicole Hutton is back in the goal for Redlands. That one wide of the mark as the transition was going over to Ada Carr. And another deflection.
Whoa,
Redlands
whoa.
get it. A lot of contact.
Jesus.
Looks like
Violent sport.
looks like a bad body check violation for the Panthers as the Redlands get possession of the ball.
Do not tell your kids to watch this sport. It's violent.
Redlands looking for some kind of opportunity. There's a double team.
Right now they're double teaming whoever has the ball. Smart move. Chapman gets the ball again.
It's been a story today with the double teams. Natalie Schumann was just stuck in that region on the top of your screen. And the Panthers have been taking the ball away, trying to confuse all these Bulldog attackers. That's been the strategy so far. And the Panthers yet again driving down the field. 38 Parker House.
Parker House.
Missed
Wild
the mark
pass.
wide. Picked up by Annika Carlson, who's been having a fantastic day for the Panthers. They're inside the 12-meter arc. Now she's driving in. And, oh, what a great transition for the goal. That's a great highlight reel for the Panthers. Great score as they keep running it up here against the University of Redlands Bulldogs. That was number 36, Lindsay Huss. Look at this great transition. Beautiful stuff. As you see number 20, Annika Carlson, give it off to her teammate, Huss, and puts it in just beyond the reach of Hutton back there on the goal.
And Lindsay Huss, 10 points in the season, make that 11 points with that. And, you know, she's only a sophomore, so she has more years of improvement, but that's a good sign for Chapman. You see all these young players coming in, scoring, doing what they have to do. They're making a playoff push, not for now, but for the future too.
5 games left on the season.
Talent they have.
A lot of time to go before the playoffs come. But this is a great time to get your backup players in the game and have some opportunities so you have enough depth for your players as you go through the games, especially for the young athletes as well on your roster. Redlands have possession of the ball. The Panthers, I should mention, do play Pomona-Pitzer, who's the #1 team in the Sky Conference and number 20 in the nation. They play them next Saturday. They'll have a week off before that game happens. And it's a great opportunity for them to get some strategy going in this game against a team like the Redlands.
That's going to be a great game, Justin. It's a real test right there.
Absolutely. The reigning SCIAC champions, the Pomona-Pitzer Sage Hens. They're the team to beat, so it'll be a fantastic game for the Panthers if they're able to beat the #1 team in the Sky Conference. That ball deflected away, picked up by number 38, Parker House.
Parker House, and she's also one of the young players here, a freshman. And, you know, she's a great player, great skill set. She fits well with this team. And right now they're making a push.
Annika Carlson had the ball again. Another transition blocked away by the Redlands, and it's picked up. 3 players on her, and she'll win possession as there was a body check violation. Coach Kirkpatrick looking for something in his favor right now, but today has been all in his favor for these Panthers player. He's got to be pretty proud on the sidelines for his team.
Yep, Chapman has a double-digit lead already. It's not looking good for the Redlands.
Illegal body check. Redlands gets the ball. Now, the one thing you'll see later today in the men's lacrosse game is a lot of contact with the bodies. That's because it is legal, but in women's, you cannot body check. There's a legal parameters for that. You can only stick check. And another thing you'll see today, and for the midi positions, you'll see a longer stick being used as opposed to the Chapman's attackers who have a shorter stick. Different things for leverage in terms of. Looks like a stoppage in play. A foul was called. And the Redlands get their third opportunity on a free shot. Number 9, Kaylin Walker, will take this opportunity. Makes the shot, and a great save by the Panthers, by Anna Hurriu, their star goalie back there in the net. That one landed on the ground, and she just scoops it up. Makes it easy. Gives it over to your teammate as the Panthers now switching sides on the field.
Look how fast this offense is.
The transition game has been really good.
Transition game is phenomenal for Chapman.
It's been looking really good. If you want to talk about a clinic for the Panthers, they've really put it out there today. Oh, somebody got knocked down. She might feel that one later today.
Ooh.
Oh, she's stuck.
Oh, she's hurt.
She's not getting up.
Yeah, I know those sticks be hurting too.
That one looked like it hurt 100%.
Let's just hope she's all right. You never want to see an injury like this in a game.
Absolutely. That's Melania Ferrara.
Yep, that's one of their key players. So right now we have a stoppage in the game. They're checking up. You see the looks on everyone's faces. Let's just hope she's okay.
It looks like she took a really hard shot.
Yeah.
On a body check. She says her team motto is hustle and heart that sets us apart. She's been a very key player for this team the entire season. It would be hard to lose one of your best attackers. Her favorite player is the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. It looks like teams are going to go to their sidelines right now as they take a look at Ferreira, see if anything she's able to get up and move on her own, but she's still on the ground at the very moment. Very tough situation here at Wilson Field. Let's talk about this game a little bit. It's just been in the Panthers' favor almost all day, but the Redlands finally got their opportunity. They've missed a couple of things. Their biggest key so far is Herrera, who's been fantastic at the goal, being able to stop every single shot that Redlands has thrown. She's only let one go by her today, but it's just been opposite sides, different feelings on the field today. Do you think it's an experience thing for the Redlands, or do you think something else for the Redlands that they should pick up here, still early goings of this game?
Yeah, so, like I've always heard, the game is not over until the clock hits 0. So as long as the game is still on, you still have a chance. So if I'm the Redlands, I'm going to keep playing hard. And as you can see, Redlands and the Panthers are clapping for Ferreira, who's walking right now. Or actually, number 21, Charlie Beck.
We had the wrong person the entire time.
We had the wrong person. Ferreira, she's fine. Charlie Beck is hurt.
Apologies to Milani, but Charlie Beck getting assisted off the field. One of those freshmen out of Denver, Colorado, the midi for the Panthers team.
And Charlie actually scored today too. And, she's only a freshman. She's a great player. And let's just hope she's okay. And
for sure.
She's, as you can see, she's in pain right now. Slowly getting off the field.
Well, we'll definitely have to talk to Josh later about that and possibly get an injury update. Panthers already have 2 injuries today. Definitely don't want to see that, especially before a very important game against Pomona Pitzer. Oh, whoa, what a floater. That one just gets through.
That was a slow shot, Justin. Oh, my gosh.
Barely lost it. I saw it for a moment, and it just was in the back of the net.
It was in slow motion.
Number 36, Lindsay Huss.
Lindsay Huss,
gotta see the replay again.
Out of San Carlos, makes that score. That looked like an easy one for the Panthers. Her second goal of the day.
Floated up. Oh, my God.
And again, it's been the transition game for the Panthers, being able to flip it to the inside players and getting it in and making the Redlands Bulldogs guess every single time. It's been a lopsided game, and we're already in the second quarter.
12-1.
3 minutes left before halftime.
12-1, guys. And the most points that the Panthers have scored this season is 27. You think they're going to score more than that, Justin?
We'll see. It's likely. It's pretty early still in this game. Maybe we'll see possible records or anything like that, but we won't try to call that yet.
It's too early to say.
Draw control won by the Panthers.
There's Parker House.
Here's a transition game going again. Very fast down the field. They're always looking like they're fast-paced the entire game. To the X. I mean, this could just be lopsided for most of the day. It's just been Panther dominance. And that one lost control. Goes to the back.
Got 1 minute left. First half.
Emily Flath, the junior out of Orange, California. Hometown, playing in front of her crowd today. That one lost possession. That one's lost again.
Lost again.
Sweeping it up. It's up for grabs. Anybody's game. Panthers pick it up.
Parker House running.
And possession being controlled every time for the Panthers.
And right now you have 20 seconds left. Panthers can get something off. And they might be able to.
Amy DeBark, that one gets through. Another goal for the Panthers yet again.
Just stop the game right now. This is not fair.
This is very tough for the Bulldogs, as has been the story all day.
The assist from Lee Mayer. And that takes us to halftime.
And that goal will end it for the first half of the game as we see the replay for Emily Flath. Another goal for her. It's been lopsided all day as we're reaching here halftime for the Panthers and the Bulldogs game. The Panthers up by 12-1. But a tough going at it for the Bulldogs. They're going to need a long conversation to be able to get out of this one from their coach, Suzette. Let's review some of the first half highlights and what's been going on so far. And it'll be filled with a lot of Panthers goals. It's just been the story all day. Everybody putting it out there. Elise Mayer, Emma Close. It's been all Panthers games so far, Javier.
Yep, and you see Carlson she has many goals right now, and everyone's been contributing.
It's been a tough day for the goalie Hutton back there, but the Panthers just looking like they're putting out a clinic. It's been the transition game. It's been able to flip it out to those inside players. They've just beaten the defense hard every single time, and they just look like they're winning the side possession time, everything. The Redlands just seem like they can't contain this high-powered offense from the Panthers. It's been tough all day. And that'll be the story going into the third and fourth quarter as we get closer to the second half. But the Panthers having a few injuries as well, but in good shape to give them some good rest, and they have a week off as well. But who knows, the rest of this game might keep going the same momentum as it has been the entire day. Any thoughts you got on the game so far, Javier?
Well, it's been all Panthers right now. If you're the Panthers, you're in a good spot. Just keep playing the way you've been playing. If you're the Redlands, well, you need to do a lot of work, honestly, especially on offense. Offense has been a struggle. So there needs to be adjustments made from the Redlands. Let's see if they make it in the second half.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to send it over to the sideline and see if we can get an update from Mr. Josh Feinhurst. What you got for us down there, Josh?
All right, thank you, Javier and Justin. Down here, 13-1 Chapman off to a blistering hot start here in this first half. However, two big injuries. Sophie Bittis, number 30, the starting midfielder, went down in the first quarter, but she has now since had an ice pack on her knee and been walking around the sideline. But to close out the half, number 21, Charlie Beck, another midfielder, went down there, was helped off of the field. Don't know too much about the extent of that injury, so I will get back to you on that as the game goes on to see if she can return to this game as well. But 13-1 Chapman here at halftime off to a blistering start. The crowd is into it. Sidelines are into it. Coach Dan always having the motivation out there. And why wouldn't you, being up 11-1, having a great half, so 13-1, excuse me, at the half. Back to you, Javier and Justin at the desk.
Appreciate the update, Josh. Yeah, it's been the story so far, but we'll keep an eye out for Beck, who came down with a very scary injury, being able to get some help up back to the sideline. So hopefully she's all right, and hopefully everybody on this Panthers team is healthy as weeks go here, getting closer to playoff time for both these teams. But today it's been interesting. The weather has been looking good, but it's been a fine day if you're a Panthers fan, for the crowd. But as we here at halftime for CSBN, we're going to go to a break and come back for the next half, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Welcome back, everybody, here as we get ready for the second half of play between the Bulldogs and the Panthers. Been a lopsided afternoon if you're joining us. The Redlands have a score of 1 right now, and the Panthers have a score of 13. It's been in the favor of the Panthers all day. As we get back here, everybody getting out on the field after their locker room meetings. Any discussion here with Javier? Any discussion, you think?
Well, if you're the Chapman Panthers, you just got to keep playing the way you were playing in the first half. You know, whatever works, why change it if it works? You know what I'm saying? And if you're the Redlands, you need to do a lot, Justin. And especially on the offensive end, you have 1 point right now. And like I've said earlier, offense has been a struggle. 4 points last game, and even before that game, 4 points too. So offensively, the stagnant offense, something needs to change if you're the Redlands. So hopefully they make that adjustment in the second half. I'm excited to see what happens, what unfolds. Are you excited?
Absolutely. I mean, anything can happen. It looks like the Panthers are all united. The Bulldogs are looking to make it a huge attempt here going through the second half of play. Getting started here pretty soon, but you know, anything can happen. We've seen bigger comebacks before in any game, and it's no different for lacrosse. It's anybody's game right now, but it's just going to be a matter of whether the Bulldogs can take it out of the bag and get focused against these Panthers, because they've just controlled the ball all day for the Panthers, and the Bulldogs looking to change it. Looks like they got their energy, their mojo back as they enter the field of play. We get ready here for the second half of play between the Redlands Bulldogs and the University of Chapman Panthers. If you're just joining us, Justin Lee here alongside Javier Serrano. Josh Feinhurst down on the sideline. It's been a rough first half.
Been a rough first half for the Redlands. If you're Chapman, it's been an amazing half for Chapman.
We've had a couple of players go down for the Panthers. We'll later get an update from Josh if he's able to give us one. But let's talk about some of these stories for the Panthers. You know, being able to talk to them a little bit and getting some insight about their story of the game. Milani Ferrara, one of the Panthers attack players, says their motto is hustle and heart that sets them apart. They went on a spring break trip actually to Oregon about 2 weeks ago, and gave them a lot of time to kind of build that trust and that team bonding to get this energy together, and they definitely need it if they're trying to make a playoff push. Her pregame routine was getting in the zone, listening to music to make sure she's mentally ready. As the second half is already kicked off, and the Panthers have possession of the ball already early on, and they're attacking with fierceness. Great transition, blocked away by the Redlands goalie, and it's anybody's ball again. Whoa! That just got knocked into the goal in the strangest possible way.
Wait, who scored?
It was the Panthers that scored on that goal after that crazy scrum. And the Panthers have scored again in the second half of this.
See the replay.
I mean,
the tap. Oh.
Just a tap into the goal. And everybody confused on that play. You see the Panthers are wondering what in the world just happened on that play.
Justin, we've seen snipes, taps, floaters. We've been seeing all these different kinds of shots.
They've been coming in all directions today, Javier. It's been interesting.
Very
we just
impressive.
saw the first tap in.
A tap goal.
Just looked
Never
like
thought I would see that.
the goalie for the Redlands, Alyssa Ashley, just lost focus for a second as that scrum was happening, and the ball just, next thing you know, was behind her in the net. Another draw control, swiped away by the Panthers. But
Jessica Ricketts.
lost it, and now the Panthers got the control of the ball after the Redlands looked like they may have had it for maybe a moment. But here we go yet again. The Panthers have control of the ball as they've had all day.
Ooh, look at that cut. Got blocked off, but that was a good cut right there.
It's been a story about cut and run, the strategy for the Panthers, as we've seen it all day. Cutting into the middle and having those outside midi position players throw it into their attack on the inside.
There's Ferreira, one of the best players here.
Knocked away by a Redlands player, and it's scooped up. Now the Redlands have their first opportunity of the second half. as they run down the field looking for
They're pushing the pace.
looking for the start of the comeback. That one got swatted away.
They're fighting.
Another scrum again. And the refs give the Redlands possession of the ball. The clock still going. As we mentioned before, the possession clock keeps going no matter what happens to the ball. If one team has possession throughout the entire time, the clock continues to run until the other team has possession
we seeing
or the
people
clock
fall.
runs down.
Bodies on the ground.
It looks like a foul. A lot of body checking going on.
You see the hustle. Both teams won it.
Redlands have the ball with 39 seconds on the possession clock. Time's running out here as the Bulldogs are inside the X.
I mean, you have like 25 seconds for the possession clock, so you want to get something going right now. Making good passes.
Panthers are just crowding the very inside of the
They're
8-meter
doubling.
arc.
They're making it so difficult for the Redlands, and now they're pushing the pace.
That one was intercepted by number 15, Liv Huntley Robertson, freshman out of Summit, New Jersey. And that's where you're from, my friend, right?
I am from New Jersey, and I end up here in Orange County. But Ferreira with the ball.
A long way from home, my friend Javier.
Long way.
The Panthers on possession of the ball. Inside the 8-meter mark, swiped it under and gets through. Another score for the Panthers as they
Ferreira.
continue it.
Look at her go.
Chapman goal is
She was one of the key players that I was talking about in the game, and she's been stepping up. Look at the goal.
The junior.
Swished it right in there.
Junior out of San Ramon, California. Chose lacrosse because it was different from any other sport she had played before in her life. And it was a newer sport in their hometown, so she wanted to play just to try it out. And now she's here at the University of Chapman and playing her heart out. One of the captains for the Panthers. One of those key players that this team relies on the most. Another draw control coming here.
So far, Chapman has been winning these draw controls. Let's see if they can keep it up. Redlands take it.
Good drive down the field for the Redlands. It's been a rarity to see the Redlands being able to get clear opportunity, but the Panthers have just been pushing it in their face, making them nervous, and it's been tough to try to figure out how to dissect this Panthers defense who have controlled that 8-meter arc all day.
And the smart thing right here for the Chapman, whoever has the ball, they start pressing on the player with the ball. Sometimes even double teaming, making it hard, blocking the view.
Oh, and that one slides by, and the Bulldogs have their second goal of the day as it gets by their goalie for the Panthers.
And they're down 13.
the Redlands goal scored by
Down by
number 12,
13,
Lee
long
Webster.
way to go. A great shot from the Bulldogs
Come
as
back.
they get it through that fantastic goalie, Anna Herreu. They'll take that any day. As you see, just another flipped through. Number 12, Emily Webster, one of their top players, has got her second goal on the day. She's been the one key player, the right side for the Bulldogs, as she adds to her point totals the most on the entire roster.
And she's been dominating on offense for the whole season for this team. You know, the most impactful player, you can argue, for the Redlands. But you need other players to step up too, Justin. Can't be just one player doing it all. So what happened to LeBron James in 2018? That didn't work out. But now Chapman has the ball.
And you can make the same argument if you're someone named Aaron Rodgers in the early days of his career.
Ooh.
And the Panthers have got possession of the ball here yet again after that draw control. And they're looking to return the favor after that Bulldogs goal. Spreading around once again. I mean, you look at these stats and it's just different, the scale of these. Redlands have 4 shots compared to the Panthers' 30 shots the entire time. Inside the 8-meter, bounces off the side of the goal. Looks like the Panthers got possession of the ball. You see the players reaching out the stick on the outer boundary. Anyone closest to the ball regains possession. The goal, you notice, is farther back. If you later see the men's game today, the goal will be a little bit further up. You see the red circle on your screen. That's where the men's goal usually would be. That one slides by for another goal as the Panthers score again.
Parker House.
Parker House.
There you go, Parker.
The Chapman goal
Sliding it by. The Panthers running up the score. Another count to add to their totals.
Look how she uses the stick. Gets the goal.
Alyssa Ashley, frustrating time for both of these goalies as she came in to substitute for Nicole Hutton, their starter on the day. Freshman out of Vista, California. It's been tough for both of these goalies. And their defense is not exactly helping you out, but the Panthers' attack just seemingly a lot more structured, a lot more efficient on the offensive side. 23 shots on goal as opposed to the Bulldogs' 3.
I mean, and with Chapman, you can see they're getting close and being able to get good opportunities. Whereas the Redlands, you know, Chapman's playing good, pushing them as far away from the goal as possible. So those are 2 differences you see in the offense right now. And Chapman is up 14, so their offense has been incredible. It's been working. And you see everyone's cutting. You see there's movement, the ball's going. That was a sloppy play, but
that was a hard fall. Bailey Harpster tried to reach out for that ball, and it just gets away from her. Now the Redlands take the possession of the ball, and they're cutting up the field already.
They're pushing.
Cutting and turning.
Number
Wide
9.
open space. Too much time allowing the Panthers to reset it on that 8-meter arc. They're back in there. The Redlands resetting, getting ready for an attack of their own. The support players needing to turn things around, looking for anything. The only contributor today being Emily Webster with 2 points on the day. The Panthers have two hat trick players today, Annika Carlson and Jessica Ricketts. They played fantastically.
You know, and another thing I noticed is that they don't really pass the ball behind the goal. They don't go into X. Whereas Chapman, they utilize that a lot, and it helps them get good opportunities.
More like a water polo type attack if you've ever watched the game. But that seems like the difference when you're spreading it around, trying to get the eyes to turn 360. Redlands is looking, like you said, on that point. They haven't really thrown it into the X.
All right, they utilize the entire field. Chapman's been doing that.
Ooh, a stick body check and a foul called on the Panthers. And it looks like a free shot coming here for the Bulldogs. Number 20, Natalie Schumann, will take it into her own hands for the free shot, the 4th opportunity today for the Bulldogs. And a great block, swept, and it's picked up by Hereu. Looks like a stoppage on the play here. Nope, we'll get things set going. 3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter for the Panthers. University of Redlands are down by 14 points in a deep hole. And everything's flying around as the Panthers lose possession of the ball, and it's given up to the Redlands Bulldogs. As plays getting reset here. Jenny Cunyodes Diaz getting the ball, needing to line up on the right spot.
Look at the defense from the Panthers. Look at the hustle.
And another shot on goal. And another score for the Panthers as they even make the margin even bigger. And a great stuff by Ada Carr, her first goal of the day. The freshman out of Seattle, Washington.
Scored by number 27, Ada Carr.
And now the backup players for the Panthers are starting to make their names known.
But look at the replay. Look at the pass and the shot.
I think that's our second sniper shot of the day, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a great shot, but you saw the defense turn into offense in the transition. The Redlands were not ready for that one.
Flipped the field a lot. Zoe Sharam is one of the captains for the Redlands Bulldogs. Defense and goalkeeper junior out of Glendale, California. She said their team motto was "Don't be afraid of mistakes," and that's a truth to be told for the Bulldogs, who are a very young team. They've made a lot of mistakes on the field, it's seeming like today, but you know, those mistakes, that'll come as the learning process. As you see on your screen, number 21, Charlie Beck, is on with the ice bag on her leg, her right knee. Looks like she's on crutches at the moment. Hopefully she's okay, but not a good sign if you're a Chapman Panthers fan.
I mean, you have a week to recover, so let's just hope Charlie Beck gets recovered by then, and just hope she takes it easy. That was a hard fall right there, and this could be a physical game. Things like that can happen. It's just the nature of sport.
It's part of the game. And
part of the game.
You'll see that very often said in sports. Next man up, or next woman up in this case. Another draw control coming here as we get things going. Getting close to the last quarter with 1 minute and 23 seconds. Bad draw control in favor of the Bulldogs as they get possession. Intercepted.
Ooh, interception.
The other way, Olivia Ng gives it over to
look
Carr.
Look at the tempo. They're pushing it.
Can she get another goal in the day? No. The Redlands, good defense. That one's taken away.
Die for it.
Giving possession over to the Redlands Bulldogs.
But that was a great transition opportunity right there. If you're the Panthers, you've been doing that all game, so you'll take those.
You've seen that a lot today as well.
Look at that. Look at the hustle, disrupting the ball, staying in front of your man, or woman in this case.
Nina Davis is one of those defensive players you'll see out here for the Redlands. So the team motto was 1% better every day. So taking a 1% every day and making it better. As we get down here, the clock running out, and the third quarter will end.
And at the end of the third quarter.
And we'll move over to the fourth as we get settled here. 17-2 for the Panthers. As we get closer to the last quarter of this game, it's been a lopsided one, would you say, Javier?
Blowout.
100% all the way.
17-2.
As we send it over to the booth. So in the last broadcast, if you saw it, for the men's game, we had a stick demonstration, but we wanted to just demonstrate some of the sticks for you. So Javier is holding a men's stick and I'm holding a women's stick. And if you'll see the difference in the netting, Javier's is actually a lot more deep with the pocket. That's meant for ball control, since the men can actually body check. The women's, on the other hand, is a lot more shallow, if you notice, with the netting. That's because you can stick you can stick check, but you can't body check, so this is more ample opportunity to get the ball out of your hands. The ball, of course, for the men's is white, as the women's I don't have is a yellow ball. But here are the gear. I'm wearing one of the women's caged masks, as you can see. Different structure, more close to like a football mask, if anything, instead of like a lenses, goggles type thing, in case the net or the stick hits these goggles, you don't have those lens pieces in your face. But interesting look. Of course, how do I look?
Yeah, I mean, you look fantastic. You should go out there. You should go out there for the Redlands right now.
I may take you up on that offer later, my friend.
Hey, you can have a lacrosse match after this.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was kind of the demonstration we had. The game of lacrosse being a Native American sport back in the day and being adopted here, as you see the netting, very intricate leather here, and the netting a little different for both of these, but that was kind of the subtle differences we wanted to offer to you guys. So
now you know the difference between the sticks of men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse. Hopefully Justin helped. That was a great help.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
As we get going for the fourth quarter, the final quarter here in this women's lacrosse game between the Bulldogs and the Panthers. They're up by a humongous margin. If you're just joining us, it's been an interesting day to behold with, but stay tuned, of course. This is a doubleheader special for CSBN. The men's game later today, as we have Brianna Tovar as the color and Alejandro Flores as the play-by-play.
Yep, and you have Chapman Panthers versus UCLA. Chapman is on a 6-game win streak. Could they capitalize and extend that win streak against a team like UCLA? It should be a great game to watch. Stay tuned for that. Right now, we're almost finished with the first game of our doubleheader. Chapman versus the Redlands. Chapman is up 17-2. Has not been close.
Well, if you're thinking, how are the Panthers playing against the UCLA Bruins, that the only reason being because the Panthers are the men's lacrosse team is actually a club team in Division I. They're actually one of the more powerhouse teams in men's lacrosse. They've been that way for a long time. Women's lacrosse team for the Panthers is school affiliated, whereas opposed to the Panthers men's lacrosse team is actually not. So they find their support from other means. But nonetheless, very exciting to see if you want to see some men's action between the Panthers and the Bruins of UCLA. As we get going, the fourth quarter has already started. The Panthers are dancing around in the X, looking for any way to run up the margin even more.
Parker House scored a goal last quarter, and everyone's been contributing for this Chapman team. You know, from your seniors, from your captains, all the way down to players off the bench. Everyone's just been having a great game. And that's what you want to see if you're the coach. See all your players step up, even when you have injuries.
As the Redlands Bulldogs have possession of the ball now. Coming close to the end of this as we got 13 minutes left. Bulldogs looking for some kind of way to add more points. So
some magical comeback.
Some way to make this not look like a complete blowout for the Bulldogs. They've certainly played interesting today. They just need to get rid of those mistakes, but it's a very young team, and I'm sure they'll learn from what this has against a very tough team in the Panthers. Flipping fields again. Here come the Panthers, taking the ball away from the Bulldogs. Well, the Panthers have a week off before they play Pomona-Pitzer, which is going to be a big game for both these teams. The Pomona-Pitzer being the number 20 team in the nation. So the Panthers, if they're able to get away with the win against that team, will be huge. And
yeah. Mark it on your calendars. That's a great game to look forward to, and that's a game that Chapman can make a statement on. But right now, they're making a statement today. 17-2. Hasn't been close. And as you can see, Redlands regain possession of the ball, but they have not been able to do much. As you can see, they turn it over.
Still got the ball. The possession clock was reset, so they're at 80 seconds. Let me talk to you a little bit, Javier. Is there any type of list you could give to the Bulldogs on things they can improve on later on the season, especially if they're a young team?
Going against an experienced team like Chapman, you know, it's going to be a challenge, especially Chapman's making a playoff push. They have a winning record. So if you're one of the young players on the Redlands, don't be discouraged. You know, games like this happen. All you can do is just figure out your weaknesses and work on it. Figure out what you could have done differently. And this is all a learning experience. And I know next season they're gonna come back with a sense of rejuvenated energy, new and improved. But right now, you just have to work on stuff, especially on the offensive end. They only scored 2 points. In the past couple of weeks, offense has not been doing that well. So if there's anything you want to focus on, it's probably the offense.
Absolutely, and certainly for the defense too on that side. They haven't been able to contain like a high-powered team as the Panthers. The only player making a splash was Emily Webster the entire day, so have to be able to make some opportunities for your offense to get that. Shooting here, and there's another goal.
There you go.
There it is, number
Offense.
3.
Speaking of offense, that's what you want to see if you're the Redlands.
We're talking about making improvements on the team. That's another way you want to build that momentum.
Yeah, Emily Webster again. My goodness.
She's got the hat trick on the day. She's been the one upside.
She's been carrying right now. Since no one else has been contributing. But Emily Webster, she's a phenomenal player like I've stated before. And I'm going to keep saying it because she's really good. She has 3 goals.
Talk about how young of an athlete she is. She's a young, true freshman athlete and somebody to look out for.
Only a freshman. So she's going to be here for a while.
It's only going to improve here on out. For someone like Emily Webster, it must be tough to be able to have not as much support as you feel like you should, but as we said before, it's a young team. They'll learn from those mistakes, and the offense definitely does need to figure out how to improve themselves for next year. But they've had a lot of grit out there and always fighting for it. And
I mean, right now in this 4th quarter, the Redlands are really trying. You see the hustle. See they're going after the loose balls.
It's been a different story for the Panthers today, all day. They're in very good shape.
You even saw the celebrations on the bench, too. That's how you know something's getting out of control. See the bench celebrating? I know the Redlands are not going to like that one.
Hey, a little fire to the flame for the next matchup if they play each other.
I mean, someone disrespects me like that, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to come out harder than ever.
Absolutely, put a fire under their seat, and like we said, Bulldogs and Chapman Panthers, you put them in the same sentence, everyone's going to say they're rivals in every single sport, especially for football between these two teams. Panthers driving through inside the 12 arc mark. But been a beautiful day for some women's lacrosse. And it'll be even better once the men's team heads out here pretty soon. Keep an eye out for that broadcast that's coming up in a few.
Chapman versus UCLA. It's a pretty big game. Can't wait to hear our commentators on that game.
I know my friend Alejandro Flores is going to be really good on that one.
Yeah, my good friend Brianna too.
This one gets through for another score for the Panthers. Gets by number 38, Parker House, with another goal on the day. Panthers edging ever closer to that 20 mark. Parker House, the freshman out of Portland, Oregon. Been another top contributor for this team. See that over the head, flip it under the legs. That seems like it's been the edge for the Panthers, is being able to shoot it under the legs, below your vision, to get it through and sink it into the back of the net.
And Parker made that look really easy. I mean, she got as close as possible, and she was able to get the easy goal.
Timeout here called by the Redlands as things are getting reset over here.
7 minutes to make a comeback.
Panthers are already looking like they're celebrating a great win here today. They look like they've been united.
Yep, they're giving hugs and everything. They're happy.
But for players like Parker House, not even being one of our key players, it's just been a different story. And we've said it before at the beginning of the broadcast, it's been about being able to spread this ball around to the team. And that team has really contributed for everybody, a fair share.
Yep. See, number 1 just poured it on her helmet.
It looks like that Redlands team is just extremely tired. Everybody looking like, I mean, it's been just a tough day for the Redlands Bulldogs, but they can keep their heads high. This is a learning experience for a lot of those young players over there.
You just saw earlier, Liv Huntley Robertson, freshman. So you have these bench players getting some playing time, which is always good to boost their confidence, you know.
Interesting history with the Bulldogs. Their mascot came from when they beat their rivals back in 1917, 20-0, and the other team's coach said that they played like Bulldogs, so that nickname stuck for the university for a long time. The year after, they had a Bulldog named General Haig, and that became their first live mascot, and they've had different renditions ranging from Deacon to Thurber. Their current live mascot was just announced last year in 2022, George the Bulldog.
So interesting facts that you're saying, Justin. George the Bulldog. Right now, I mean, Chapman, they have the Bulldogs under their control. 18-3, 7 minutes left in the game. Let's see what adjustments are made during the timeout. If you're the Redlands, anything can happen, you know?
Yeah, anything for sure. And you see this story from the last goal. Some of these goals that we've been seeing so far today have been highlight reel. Put these to music and get them up on there. But we've seen it all today.
We've seen it all.
Different shots from, we saw a tapper, we've seen a floater, we've seen
a sniper.
And a sniper, yes. Got to look out for that. But
on the Redlands, you know, Emily Webster with a hat trick. You know, she's been the only one scoring for the Redlands. But you need more if you want to win this game. You know, one player can't do it all. And Emily, she's been trying her best.
No better words spoken. It's a team sport.
It's a team sport. It's not golf. It's a team sport. It's an actual sport.
Uh-oh, taking shots over there, I
see. Oh.
Little controversial topics over there.
I'm joking.
Redlands lose possession of the ball, and it's given over to... Oh, it came off the stick of the Panthers, so it's given to the Redlands. But speaking of Bulldogs, I mean, there's a lot of universities and teams that have the Bulldogs as their mascot. Interesting that they don't have like things like Dobermans or Rottweilers or Great Danes as their mascot, but Bulldogs always seems to be the big one for a lot of these mascots. That one way over the goal for the Bulldogs.
Jenna Bradford had a good look, but it went over the goal. But that was one of the best looks they had this game. So you can't be mad at that.
Anna Herreu has been in that goal the entire day. Their backup goalie, Angeline Du, is currently injured at the moment. Oh, what a great swipe save by Herreu. That's the story. That is why she's a single season record holder for the Panthers.
I need a replay on that.
Goals
that was
saved
crazy.
That game. Oh, talk about the reaction time.
My God, the reaction time needed for that. And now Chapman has it on their side of the field already.
Oh, ill-advised throw. Still on the ground. Panthers regain control of it. Panthers.
See, the ball's back in the X. They're really utilizing that to their advantage.
Interesting. The Panthers have Amanda Ogrodowicz, who's listed here as a defensive player for the Panthers, so they're sending their defensive players out in the attack mode.
I mean, at this point in the game, go experiment, go have fun.
Here come the Bulldogs driving towards inside the 8-meter mark.
Ooh, a shot right there.
And it gets by.
Look at that.
Great transition for
And
the
guess
Bulldogs.
who it was again?
No.
Emily Webster.
No.
Emily Webster.
You gotta be kidding me.
My gosh.
4th goal. She's got the
Emily.
most goals. She has the most goals out of anybody on both sides today with 4 in total.
She's really good. I said that earlier. I'm going to say it again.
It looked like number 9, Kaylin Walker, was going to take it in for her first goal, but she just flipped it over to the star of this Bulldogs team, Webster, and sinks it in the back of the net. The 4th goal in the day. She's the MVP for the Bulldogs.
Yep, and she came in this game having 41 points. So now she's just stacking up her point total, you know, and has to be one of the most impressive freshman seasons for the Redlands. She's a superstar.
Superstars in the making.
Superstar in the making right now.
Panthers take the draw control. They've won possession yet again.
We have under 4 minutes left in the game.
Things are wrapping up here. The Panthers got some of their backups experimenting down on the field with some of their players in odds positions. But it's a whole thing about just having fun down there today.
And just having fun. You're up 14 points. And at this point of the game, it's safe to assume there's no comeback happening. Unless they prove me wrong, which I hope doesn't happen.
Ooh, a stick check. Swiped away. And that one goes out of bounds and is given in possession of the Panthers. Lost control of it. Emily Silva got knocked out of it. And then the Redlands player picked it up and she said, hey, you can't take that away, and took it back.
As she should. Ooh, look at the opening.
Want to give a shout out to our crew for CSBN today. Doing a great job in the booth. Ben Sherman, director. Ooh, that one slides through the legs. Where did that one come from?
Stop playing. My gosh.
Chapman goal scored by number 23,
Emily Flath with another
That was
goal.
nice.
Look at that one. Let's get that on replay.
Let's see the
Another
replay
highlight
on that
reel.
one.
I mean, the skill level has just been so different between these two teams. And
Look at
this
it.
no
Look at
better.
it, Justin. Appreciate it.
Was that a no-look? Was that a no-look flip into the goal I saw?
Was it?
It looked like the head
I
was
mean-
turned away for a second, and she just flipped it around a Bulldogs defender and shoved it into the goal.
Ooh.
Getting a little creative out there. I mean, if you wanted to show off to a team and make them angry for next year, that's a great way to do it.
I mean, that was a nice goal. I'm not going to lie. We've seen some really nice goals today.
But shout out to the CSBN crew who's been doing a fantastic job on this broadcast. Producer Angela Hara and our director Ben Sherman doing a great, fantastic job. And everybody out there who's going to do a great job, not just on this broadcast, but the men's lacrosse broadcast as well.
Yep, the camera crew, stage manager, just everyone involved. You don't see them on camera, but they're working hard. So let's give our credit where credit is due. Their CSBN team is phenomenal.
And this has been a great game, and I'm glad to be able to call this one with you, my friend Javier.
I'm glad too. This is my first time commentating, and it's been a blast with you, Justin.
I appreciate that. You've been doing a very good job on the first broadcast,
Yeah,
my
I
friend.
really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, up for grabs. Anybody's game now. As we get
Redlands.
close. Under a minute left here in the game versus the Panthers and Bulldogs. Been a lopsided one today. The Panthers are very close to 20-plus goals. The Bulldogs, all the goals being given to by Emily Webster, who's been the star for the
Emily
Bulldogs.
Webster, the only player on the Redlands to score. She has 4. Some of them were really good. Right now we're coming to an end here. Just make sure you stay tuned for the next game, Chapman versus UCLA. And one more goal.
And another goal for the Bulldogs.
Is it Emily Webster?
The Redlands goal scorer.
Looks like
Is it
Emily Webster
Is it
again.
Emily Webster again?
Oh my goodness. 5 goals.
She is carrying, her back must
Talk
be
about
broken.
Putting the team on their back.
Jeez.
As the game ends with the final goal from Emily Webster. It's been a fantastic day for her and an upside mark for this Bulldogs team, but the Panthers come out on top 19-5. The game here as the game comes to a close. Been a lopsided one. A little bit of heat out there, but it's been fun to call this one with you, Mr. Javier.
And you too, Mr. Justin, and the Chapman's women's lacrosse team extends their win streak to 2 games, and they're making that playoff push.
5 games left in the season as this one came to a close, and Panthers are making their mark to be able to make the conversation of who's going to make it to the playoffs and who's the favorite. Chapman definitely being a contender, and they'll have a big game against Pomona Pitzer coming up next week on Saturday. But it's been an interesting broadcast for us and an interesting game. We've seen everything. We've seen a lot of different goals, the flip, the under, the no-looker.
The snipe, the overhead, just everything, you know, and it's been a phenomenal game. Was glad to be a part of this. Glad to see Emily Webster, 5 goals. I mean, she was the only one scoring for the Redlands.
Absolutely, and if we take a look at some of those highlights, Emily Webster is one of those highlight reel players, but the story has been the Panthers support players putting it out in the field and making the Bulldogs team guess every single day. Webster making that shot, she's been the story for the Bulldogs all day. Probably a runner-up for SCIAC Player of the Week, but the Panthers just piled it on today. It's been everywhere for them, and it's been extremely tough, but the Panthers are a very strong team with a great goalie in Emily Herrero, and she's been the star for this team as well. It's been a lopsided one, would you say, Javier?
Oh yeah, it's from the start, Chapman has been dominating, and it hasn't even been close. So if you're Chapman, this is a good sign heading forward to the next game. Even with the injuries, you know, you have other players who are stepping up big for Chapman. So you have to give props to everyone from the coaching staff to the players for executing the game plan today.
Absolutely, and for our MVP, it looks like we'll be taking Annika Carlson, but before that can happen, we're going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Josh Feiners, who's got an interview with one of the Chapman players. Josh, who you got down there, my friend?
Wrapped up here, Chapman with an 18-3 victory. I am standing by here with the star of the show, midfielder Annika Carlson, had 3 goals and a couple more of assists. So Annika, what do you think the Redlands defense was giving you guys that allowed you to play so well today?
I think today we were really utilizing their confusion on picks, but also really working together with the 2-man game and working as one unit and being able to work off ball and create opportunities for each other and recognize when we should drive and when we should feed and when we should pick and cut through.
Yeah, you were able to definitely penetrate through the defense and score a lot of goals, 18 whole goals as a team. That seemed like a lot for you. So how do you think, I was listening on the sideline and Coach Dan was definitely very active talking to you, but definitely in a positive way. How do you think that helped motivate you? Because it seemed like you guys were really feeding off of that.
I think we really came here today as a team and together with fire coming back from our last game. We beat Whittier by 1, so we really wanted to show who we are and that we can play together and play better, for sure.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like you guys had a fire and you guys were able to play with that. That is all the time we have for you, Annika. Thank you very much for stopping by here on the Chapman versus Redlands Lacrosse broadcast. Chapman with the resounding victory, 18-3 here from Wilson Field. I am Josh Feinhersh, and I will send it back up to Javier and Justin at the desk. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you for that, Josh. We're going to send it to a highlight reel for our MVP, Annika Carlson, number 20, who's been all over the field, especially with her teammates, Ferreira, who also had 3 goals. But the story of this is the big support player from Annika Carlson, who's been really good, even though we can't have the MVP being the Bulldogs Webster. But Annika Carlson has been that upside, would you say, Javier?
Oh, she's been phenomenal today. I mean, just look at the shots, look at the positioning. And I mean, she recovers. And that was the tap. That was the tap right there.
That was the tap
I was like,
shot.
why are we showing missed highlights? But that was the tap right there.
Hey, put that one on ESPN Sports Center
ESPN.
Top 10. That was a great play from Annika. But here, game over for the Panthers. They move on with the W here today against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs will head away again as they move on in their schedule with 5 games left in total on the season as we get closer to the playoff push. But for everyone here at CSBN, it's been a very interesting broadcast, but stay tuned. We do have the men's lacrosse game coming up at 4:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it. We've got McGurk, who's been the MVP twice in a row for the Chapman Panthers, or CSBN broadcast, of course, and we appreciate all your support, everyone watching this game. Stay tuned. We're going to send it over. But to everyone here at CSBN, thank you for watching. I've been Justin Lee, Javier Serrano, and Josh Feinherz down on the sideline. We'll see you guys later, and hopefully we'll see you guys at the men's lacrosse game. Thanks for watching.